Dylan, my man, what's good today?
Hey John, having a great day. How are you?
Doing all right. I'm doing all right. It's VA week.
It
That's
is.
what we'll just call it, VA week.
I like it. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, man, I just wanted to hop on, right? Obviously, we got a big a big training coming up on Friday. And really sharing something that I've been experiencing in my business for the last 5 years, going on 5 years now, and something that you've actually, experienced here in the last couple of years yourself, just kind of being around, my ecosystem and just how I kind of think through things as far as building your team. And so we're pumped because we're bringing to the real estate community two things this week. One, right? How do we implement a VA into our business, a virtual assistant into our business to create that leverage? And two, even more exciting than that, is the launch of our new real estate community.
Absolutely. Yeah, both good things, but specifically fired up for the launch of our community. It's going to be
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So if you guys aren't, have we officially released it yet?
We've talked about it on that one previous Facebook Live, but I would say informally maybe is the best way to put it.
Yeah. So if you guys are new here and watching this, on Friday, join our Zoom call on how to implement the VA, and then it's the kickoff call to launching Real Estate School 2.0. And the goal of the Real Estate School 2.0 was how do we take like-minded real estate agents, and everyone has coaching companies and all of those things, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily always create an environment that's centrally located, right? A lot of times that is a one-on-one, right? And then, hey, come to our Facebook group, or a one-on-one coaching and come to our quarterly mastermind, or a one-on-one coaching and, oh, come to our big event that's twice a year. But I haven't really found a place, and I don't think you have either,
Uh,
where it builds a continuous community of like-minded people to collaborate on a consistent basis, not just here in Columbus, Ohio, but across the country.
yeah, no, you said it super well. I know some awesome communities for real estate investors that I'm a part of with tons of collaboration, but not anything in that space for us as realtors.
So, Dylan, let me ask you this. What are you most excited for on the Friday call, talking about virtual assistants and how to implement it into the business?
I am most excited for that on Friday, just to kind of I know that so many professionals that we talk to in the space, they don't even know what's possible when working with a virtual assistant in their team. Whether you're a real estate agent or other professionals, I have so many people in my network that are high performers that would be nowhere close to where they are today with their business without team members that are across state and country lines. So whether that's a virtual assistant that's just in another state that works from home, another country, or whether that's someone working for their business while you're asleep and the business is still going. So I'm excited just to help expose people that have no idea what that world looks like, to get them a little excited about that world. And then in turn, even the people that already maybe they know about virtual assistants, or maybe they even have had one in the past or have one now, I'm excited to hopefully open their mind to other ways they could be utilizing a virtual team member in their ecosystem.
Yeah, honestly, it's been, one of the biggest business acts, right, that our team has used, since 2021. And I don't think there will be a time, I shouldn't say ever, but I don't know if there'll be a time where we don't have virtual assistants doing something within our business. And then also, right, like this, we're talking real estate business, but what could you do in your personal life, right? Like, what are those things that you could leverage in your personal life that a virtual assistant could help you with? And I think where we're going to talk some on Friday is going to be around mindset shift. And I think that was the biggest thing for me in 2021, coming out of COVID, where everyone basically was a VA, right? Even stateside, you worked from home, you were virtual, right? Was that the biggest mindset shift of, okay, this is the reality. We can do this. This is possible. I can get the result. but also I hate doing this one thing or these four things. Let me go find someone else to do that part. Let me just focus on what I'm good at or what I enjoy most. And this can apply to your personal life as well.
John, that actually segues into something I was wanting to ask you, and not to put you on the spot here, but when your mind is open to the world of having, let's just having leverage as a real estate agent, whether that is having, an administrative person that sits at your desk right at the front door, whether that is licensed team members, whether that is virtual assistants, what is one thing that you think a realtor looking to scale to the next level, whether they're looking to go from 10 deals to 30 deals or they're growing a team and going beyond. But what is that one thing that you think a real estate agent should never be doing? Something that needs to happen in the business, but that real estate agent should never be doing, and they should always be leveraging out.
I think that one thing depends on, I truly think, not to dodge your question, but I do think that one thing depends on how each individual agent thinks about building their business.
Yeah.
So, for example, me, how I would build my business, I should probably n- give up posting on social media 90% of the time and leverage that out. Now, if you are someone where social media is the way that you personally build your business yourself, like that's probably a high leverage activity that you probably want to do. If you are someone that, social media kind of checks the box to show people that you're actively doing real estate and showing that social proof, maybe that's where the VA comes in. I could also argue that, a VA could handle 90% of all outbound phone calls if you're prospecting, right? And or texting. And so, you know, they're doing the heavy lifting and setting up those appointments for you to do the closing. And the closing is where you actually are going to make your money, right? The prospecting is going to be drumming up the business, right? Creating the conversations, getting leads set up on home searches, right? Making sure the email automations are correct and going out, right? Replying to, and so I think it honestly depends on how are you building the business. And so on Friday, right? Like you're going to walk away with some ideas of ways that you can implement into the business, that might be a weak point for you or an inconsistency for you that you could easily plug someone in place to be consistent, right? Within that part of your business. So it could be, I mean, the list is so long, right, of what those things could be.
Yeah.
But I honestly do believe that it's going to be different for everyone. And then ultimately, what will allow you to focus on your strengths that actually drives the business forward versus, let someone else focus on the weaknesses that kind of sets you up for you to drive that business forward.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point. We all have things that naturally we're good at, or things that we have invested a lot of time and resources into becoming good at in business. And how awesome is it that you can just hire someone to be a part of your team to pick up the slack where you are weak?
Yeah.
You don't have to be good at everything. You can simply hire someone that is good at what you're bad at. I think a lot of high achievers in the real estate space and outside of the real estate space, it's not that they're exceptional at all aspects of business, but the overwhelming majority of high performers that I've had the pleasure of knowing and networking with, they're really good at leading people to pick up the slack for where they're not strong.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and it's the opposite of kind of what we've been taught, right? Like, oh, focus on your weaknesses, get better at your weaknesses, right? It's like, no, real world is like just focus on your strengths and double down, triple down on that, and
yeah,
hire out your weaknesses. Let someone else take care of that area, um, because they may be better at that area than you, right? They actually may
yeah,
enjoy that thing. So, but yeah, I mean, we're going to drop a link if you guys are interested in this conversation a little bit further. We're going to drop a link in the comments for you guys to register. But that call is this Friday, at 12 noon.
Eastern time.
Yep, and we're going to talk about that, how to implement a virtual assistant into the business. So, Dylan, any final thoughts before we jump off?
No, I would just say if we're going to dive in deeper to this Friday and beyond. But if you're planning on joining us Friday or you're planning on getting connected, to have a more in-depth conversation about this. And we'll talk more about how I would do it or how John would do it or has done it in the past. But if you do a simple time audit, if you find things that you're consistently doing day in, day out, or week in, week out, and you consider this maybe a lower dollar per hour activity, or if you consider this something that just drains you, something that you know you have to do or has to get done in your business, but it's not directly helping your business, substantially, or it's not fueling you up, it's actually doing the opposite of draining you. We can mastermind around how we can get you out of doing that activity on a consistent basis. And who knows, it might even be that that activity is getting done better when you're not driving the bus for that activity.
Yep, that's exactly it. All right,
Well,
I'm dropping the link into the comments. We hope to see you on the call this Friday, 12 o'clock. We'll see you there. Dylan,
cool.
good catching up with you. All
Good talking to you always, my friend. Thanks, John.
right, see you guys.